Yo, what is up guys? It's me exactly back for you some more daily NBA news and highlights. As always, you guys are the real MVPs coming back each and every single day. Can't thank you enough. But now let's just get into all the news and highlights from yesterday. But first, I do have to give a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video, athleticcases.com. Basketball, baseball, football, or soccer, no matter what the sport, you guys can now rock your favorite players on the back of your phone. Use promo code ZachLee for 10% off your order. Links are in the description box below. I told you guys that this was about to be an entertaining series. Even if it was a sweep for the Warriors and none of the games were like extremely close, it would still be an entertaining series, and that is because we have Draymond Green and Rajon Rondo going head to head. If every team out there had at least one guy like these guys on their team, the league would be in a much better place. Alright, so you guys remember back in game 2 where these guys kind of butted heads a little bit. At halftime, they had to be separated because they were jawing at each other before heading back to the locker room. Well, that continued yesterday. But before I show you guys what went down, I want to show you what Draymond Green said about the incident that went down yesterday. And you'll understand why I want to show you what Green said before I show you what they did after you hear what Green said and then see what they did. Anyways, just take a look.
I don't have to try to bait Rondo. I get nothing out of trying to bait Rondo in anything. That does nothing for me. So, once again, when have I went up to him and tried to bait him?
I didn't say you did.
Y'all hate the storyline of somebody trying to bait me, huh? Y'all, I just gotta be involved. Like, oh, Draymond's doing this. At some point, somebody gotta tell the truth. It ain't Draymond this time. I baited a lot of guys. I've tried to bait a lot of guys. Succeeded it quite a bit. Sometimes failed. I ain't tried to bait nobody. So, at some point, somebody got to tell the truth. And I know that's not quite the DNA these days of people telling the truth. But at some point, y'all got to tell the truth. Draymond ain't trying to bait nobody. I'm chilling, playing basketball.
So Draymond Green insists that Rajon Rondo was the one who was provoking him. Rajon Rondo stepped up to him and instigated this whole thing. Remember that that's what Draymond Green thinks happened. Now, take a look at what actually happened.
Well, Alvin Gentry will call a timeout. Draymond Green and Rondo getting into it again. They had their differences in game 2. Went nose to nose. Two feisty veterans.
I like it by Draymond Green.
And now, can we just get another reminder of what Green said went down yesterday?
Draymond ain't trying to bait nobody.
And back to the clip one more time.
That's how it happened. The whistle had blown. Rondo playing a little mind game, and Green going right back at him. You got two stubborn, I'm not going to give it.
This dude, Draymond Green, really thinks he's the victim in all this. He done convinced himself that Rajon Rondo was the one trying to do him dirty last night during that sequence. Look, I watched that clip numerous times trying to see exactly what Draymond Green might have saw. It was Rondo who was the instigator in all of this. But all I saw every time was Rajon Rondo about to attempt a shot after a timeout was called. Maybe Draymond Green completely forgot about that and was only thinking about the time last night where Rajon Rondo tried to trip Draymond Green.
They've called a technical foul on Rajon Rondo. This is the other end of the court. Now watch Rondo's foot. Sticks it out. I don't know if he's trying to trip him or step on him. Anyway, he initiated that particular scenario between the two.
And yeah, Rondo definitely instigated that one. But then again, Rondo says that he only tried to do that because Draymond Green was talking a lot of trash.
He talks a lot of shit, and it's just part of it. You know, we're competing. I don't think there's nothing more than than what we're battling on the court. He's a great competitor. I love competing against him, and I try to match his intensity.
So if you consider trash talking instigating, maybe you could say that Draymond Green even instigated that as well. And I also like how Draymond tried to get so upset with Rondo for trying to trip him, as if Draymond Green hasn't done similar things, if not even worse things, to numerous players in his time in the league. I mean, just look back at game 2 when Draymond Green dragged Anthony Davis down to the ground and kind of pinned him down there, didn't let him get back up. Even even then, Draymond Green was trying to play the victim with the referee. He was trying to act like AD was doing him dirty when we all saw it was him that was doing AD dirty. And of course, things like this aren't going to help Draymond Green's case when it comes to being liked by NBA fans. A large majority of NBA fans, except for Warriors fans, absolutely despise Draymond Green. But I see Draymond a little bit differently than everybody else. I can kind of appreciate what he has to bring to the table in the NBA. He brings a certain factor that we don't really have too much of nowadays. Draymond Green is one of the biggest paradoxes in the NBA. A lot of people say they wish the NBA wasn't as soft as it is today, but then those same people would turn around and hate Draymond Green, even though what he does is the closest thing to what was being done back in like the 90s. And then even if you want to compare that, Draymond Green would be considered soft back in the 90s, since what they were doing was a lot dirtier than what Draymond is doing right now. Moving on to the next story though, it seems like LiAngelo Ball isn't going to make it to the NBA. So we all know the rap with this kid. After he was caught shoplifting in China, UCLA punished him. LeVar Ball didn't like that UCLA was punishing his kid, so he decides to pull LiAngelo Ball from UCLA and sends them to play over in Lithuania. And about a month ago, he declared for the NBA draft, and now things aren't looking too great for LiAngelo Ball, as LiAngelo has not been one of the 69 players selected to participate in the draft combine later this month. 69 players were selected to participate and LiAngelo wasn't one of them, and this is a terrible sign because you know there are only 60 picks in the draft. 69 are going to be in the combine, meaning none of the guys good enough to make the combine aren't even going to get drafted. And then to make things even worse for LiAngelo, we got a quote from an anonymous NBA general manager who basically said he wouldn't touch LiAngelo in the draft with a 10-foot pole. Quote, he's not on any of our scouting lists, not even the extended list. And Adrian Wojnarowski, an NBA insider of ESPN, also said that teams aren't even considering drafting LiAngelo Ball. There's no chance LiAngelo gets taken in the NBA draft. Yeah, that ain't good. Now, LiAngelo is still planning on doing some private workout for teams leading up to the draft, and not just the Lakers like Lonzo Ball did. He doesn't have the luxury of just working out the Lakers. He needs to work out for anybody and everybody that he can work out for. But let's be real here. Here's the situation with LiAngelo Ball. The dude isn't talented enough for any team to select him knowing the baggage that comes along with him, and that baggage is LeVar Ball and all the antics that he is going to bring to the team that decides to take one of his sons. That's just a huge red flags for some of these teams. Just take a look at the track record of LeVar Ball and his son, pulling them out of school, out of colleges, even out of the Lithuanian basketball league. And all the reason is because LeVar Ball doesn't like the coach, or he doesn't like the way the organization is treating his sons. They're not getting a fair chance with any of these other places, so you know what? We're taking them out. No other player, no other college, high school, even middle school player is treated like that, where if their dad doesn't like something, he's like, you know what? We're out. Just remember what was going on with the Los Angeles Lakers earlier in the year. LeVar Ball was trying to get Luke Walton fired. He was blaming Luke Walton for Lonzo Ball's struggles earlier on in the season, and the Lakers had to come forth and be like, sit down and shut up LeVar Ball, and ban the media from interviewing LeVar after the games. That's how bad it got. But what team is going to want to put up with that just to draft LiAngelo Ball when LiAngelo Ball isn't even that good in the first place? The only reason, let's keep it 100% real here, the only reason anyone knows about LiAngelo Ball is because of LeVar Ball and the things that he's been saying. If not for LeVar Ball, no one, and I mean no one, would know who LiAngelo Ball is. We would not be talking about him right now. So the Houston Rockets absolutely buried the Utah Jazz yesterday. This was just about as great of a response as the Rockets could have given after people started to question whether or not the Jazz might have been able to beat the Rockets in this series after game 2. Right from the tip-off, the Rockets absolutely dominated Utah in Utah. James Harden and Chris Paul both know what is on the line here. These are two guys who don't have the best reputation in the playoffs. James Harden, you know, in the past hasn't played as well in the playoffs as he has in the regular season, especially in games where he faces eliminations. I'm just saying, all those turnovers. And Chris Paul has never even been out of the second round once in his entire career. So those two guys know the reputation that they have in the playoffs, and they are not going to let themselves lose this year. You saw that from them last night. 113-92 the final score in this one, and the final score even makes it seem closer than it was somehow, and it still wasn't close judging by the final score. James Harden and Eric Gordon both scoring 25 for the Rockets. Harden also with 12 assists on the night as well. We all know about the drama that went down in this game between Rajon, Rondo, and Draymond Green, but as far as the actual game itself, this was the worst loss that the Warriors have suffered in the playoffs since they added Kevin Durant. There had never been a time before where they're just absolutely desolated like they were yesterday. And it was pretty much the same thing that the Pelicans did to the Blazers in the first round. I know Damian Lillard was sitting at home watching the game getting PTSD from the way Rondo, Holiday, Davis, and Mirotic were playing, and now all the people who were still doubting those players except for AD, saying their series against the Blazers was just a fluke, should have no reason to doubt that anymore. Rondo still has it. Man had 21 assists yesterday, 21 assists. He's already had a couple of 20 assist games in the playoffs, and even had some in the regular season as well. Jrue Holiday was also looking like the point guard version of Kawhi Leonard again yesterday. An efficient 21 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and Shaven Nico with 16 points and 13 rebounds. And then, you know, of course, AD was always going to be great. He had 33 points, 18 rebounds, and 4 steals. Look, I told you guys, this isn't going to be an easy series for the Warriors at all. Game 1, guys know the Pelicans had off nights. Game 2, the Pelicans didn't make it easy for Golden State despite the return of Stephen Curry. And Game 3, things got a little too tough for the Warriors to handle. That being said, the Warriors are still, of course, the heavy favorites to win this series. One game doesn't really mean too much, but I still do expect this to be a very entertaining like 6 games. But that wraps up everything that we gotta talk about today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to smack that like button if you did, and subscribe and hit the bell as well so you don't miss out on more daily NBA videos. Thank you once again for watching. I'll see all of you right back here tomorrow, but until then, keep getting the Bucks Team STC, and I'm out of here. Peace!